Hi everyone, it's Wednesday, time for a little wisdom. So thought I would jump into some information that I've been listening to webinars about and studying and doing a lot more in terms of evaluating ways that we can actually look at our aging. And so just as an introduction today, wanted to just touch base on what has been called the hallmarks of aging. Just briefly talk a little bit about that and then look at some of the things over the next few weeks and kind of dive into that a little bit deeper. But in the last year and a half or so, a company has come online with testing that really gives us a lot more insight to our aging in terms of giving us what is called a biologic age versus a chronologic age, as well as sort of rate of aging. Now, this is all well and good to know, but what's really more important is getting that information, what to do with it. And are there ways that we can slow aging? Are there ways that we can really affect that so that we have improved health? We all know people who chronologically may be 60 or 70 years old, yet look more like 50, or who are 50 and look more like 60 or 70. And I think that knowing that there are things that we actually have the power to change and to treat, because now we know that aging is actually a disease. And as such, we are gaining more and more knowledge every day in ways that we can disrupt that and actually have some impact on how we age. So briefly, the hallmarks of aging, basically there's 9 of them. There's genomic instability, number 1, telomere attrition, and don't worry if you don't really understand what these are. I'm going to be walking through these as time goes on. Epigenetic alterations, loss of proteostasis, deregulated nutrient sensing, mitochondrial dysfunction, we actually have talked about that, cellular senescence, that's basically cells that are dying, stem cell exhaustion, and lastly, altered intracellular communication. And as those things, these hallmarks of aging become more and more apparent, and we see more cellular dysfunction and decline, we know that there is more increased risk for cancer and for other age-related diseases. We know that aging is the number 1 risk factor for most chronic diseases. And if we can delay aging by even as little as 7 years, this will decrease the incidence of disease in half. And if we can slow biologic aging by 20% in the United States, we would save $3 trillion in major entitlement spending over the next 50 years. That's $3 trillion. So what's so fascinating about this aging issue is that in the United States, we spend 7% more than any other country as far as healthcare is concerned. And yet, over the last 10 years, we've fallen from 38 down to 68 in terms of our overall health. So we spend more than any other country in the planet, and yet we have more and more issues with our health, and we have the 68th basically health ranking, and we should be number 1, and we're not. We have poor life expectancy as far as We're 34th in life expectancy at birth, and it just goes down from there. So you can see that in this country, despite the fact that more dollars are spent, and it's unfortunate that really part of the problem is the pharmaceutical companies in terms of what we're having to spend. We know that a lot of our medications and drugs that we have to spend, the amount of money that we have to spend in this country is so much more than other countries because we fund all that. So as we walk through this over the next few weeks through the different hallmarks of aging, the point is that now there are actually clocks, human clocks of aging that are available to us so that we can actually get data and information. Again, not only based on our chronologic age, but what is our real biologic age? There are a few different types of what we call clocks, human clocks out there. There is a test just plugging in a few lab results that gives us some idea of biologic aging, but the best one appears to be a clock based on methylation of our DNA and the different ideas. There's so much artificial intelligence in terms of being able to ascertain where we are, each of us in our lives, and there is now a company that is doing this. So I'm investigating this more and more, and we'll be ordering kits. And if anyone is very interested, it's not so much just knowing it, but then, okay, so what? Once we know, if I test and my biologic age is say 10 years less than where I am today, I want to use that information and see if either we can slow that down or can we even make it better. And so not only are we going to get that biologic age, but there is now the opportunity to get the rate of aging. And that's where we can begin to see really changes as far as what we hope to achieve, which is longevity and improved health and expanded health span in our within our lifespan. So I hope that we can continue to help educate you. It still all falls back down to how do you eat? How well are you sleeping? How well are you managing movement and muscle tone in your body? How do you handle stress? These are still core concepts, but there are more areas of specificity as we know more. And we'll be able to get and set up protocols that are going to make a difference, I think, too. So I'm very excited, as you can tell, about the opportunity that we have today. I mean, I think this is just some of the most amazing, it's a great time to be living in terms of more understanding and more data and more infusion of knowledge in terms of these areas of health span and longevity. Of course, we are probably just still at the tip of the iceberg, but it's a very exciting time, in particular, to be learning about these kinds of things, because there's just more and more every day that is available to us. And I think that it's exciting to have patients who really want to avail themselves of these opportunities. And it's been great working with people who really do embrace it and want to really know and learn more. So I will help us together walk through this, learn more, and hopefully as we expand our knowledge, we'll expand our health span in the framework of our lifespan. Hope you all have a great rest of the week. Again, just the hallmarks of aging. I'm going to run through those one last time, and then we'll start to break that down in the next few weeks. Genomic instability, telomere attrition, epigenetic alterations, loss of proteostasis, deregulated nutrient sensing, mitochondrial dysfunction, cellular senescence, stem cell exhaustion, and altered intercellular communication. These are all the things that begin to happen and become disrupted as we age, And as we can begin to turn those few things around and just start targeting one or two things, we'll begin to see some improvement long term. Hope you all have a great week, and talk again next week.